You are eating salads, you are cutting carbs, you are drinking your green smoothie every single morning, and yet you are still gaining weight, still exhausted, still waking up at 3 in the morning soaked in sweat, still dealing with hot flashes, brain fog, and a mood that shifts without warning. What if the diet you think is helping you is actually the reason you feel so terrible right now? Drop a hand emoji in the comments if any of this sounds familiar, because what I am about to share is something most doctors are still not telling women in their 40s and beyond. And once you understand it, you cannot unsee it. Here is what is happening inside your body right now. During perimenopause, your estrogen levels begin to drop, and estrogen does not just control your cycle. It has what researchers call extensive metabolic effects on almost every system in your body. When estrogen starts to decline, your resting metabolism slows down significantly. Studies show that women can burn up to 250 to 300 fewer calories per day at rest simply because of this hormonal shift. That is nearly a full meal worth of energy your body no longer burns the way it used to. But here is the part that changes everything. Your body still needs the exact same amount of nutrients. So the diet that kept you lean and energized at 32 is now leaving you undernourished and overfed at the same time. You are eating less and feeling worse. That is not a coincidence. Research tells us that between 60 and 70% of women gain weight through perimenopause. Women worldwide gain an average of 10 kilograms between the ages of 40 and 60, and most of them are doing everything they were told was right. The problem is not your willpower. The problem is that the rules changed. And nobody told you. Let us talk about the first big mistake, and I want you to really hear this one because it is the one I see most often. Most women in perimenopause are not eating enough protein, and when I say not enough, I do not mean a little short. I mean dramatically, consequentially short. When estrogen declines, your body experiences something called anabolic resistance. What that means is your muscles no longer respond to protein the way they used to. Your body is now breaking down muscle faster while building it back more slowly, so you need significantly more protein just to stay even. Research published in a major obstetrics journal found that during perimenopause your daily protein target needs to rise to around 91 grams just to maintain lean mass. Most women are averaging somewhere around 65 grams. That gap is where a lot of your symptoms are hiding. Here is why that gap matters so much. Muscle is your metabolism. The more muscle you lose, the slower your metabolism gets, the more fat your body stores, and the worse your symptoms become. It is a cycle that low-protein eating keeps feeding without you realizing it. And it gets more interesting. Your brain actually has a built-in signal for protein deficiency. When you are not getting enough, your body releases a hormone that drives you to keep eating until the protein target is met. So those cravings that feel out of control, they might not be a willpower problem. They might be your body begging for protein and getting carbs instead. The second mistake is one that catches women off guard because these foods look so healthy on the outside. Think about whole wheat bread, granola bars labeled as nutritious, multigrain crackers, brown rice cakes, flavored yogurt, packaged cereals. These foods are not what they appear to be in a perimenopausal body. When estrogen is low, your insulin sensitivity changes. Your body becomes less efficient at processing blood sugar spikes. Every time you eat refined carbs on their own, even the ones marketed as healthy, your blood sugar spikes and then crashes. That crash triggers cortisol, and cortisol in perimenopause is something we absolutely need to talk about. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It rises every morning to wake you up, it helps you manage challenges, and it keeps your blood sugar stable between meals. That is the good version of cortisol doing its job. But in perimenopause, cortisol becomes much harder to regulate. Estrogen and cortisol are connected through the adrenal glands. So when estrogen fluctuates, cortisol spikes become more pronounced and they last longer. The everyday stress you handled fine in your 30s now hits differently. When cortisol stays elevated, your body shifts into full fat storage mode, and it does not store that fat evenly. It directs it straight to your midsection. Researchers call this the menopause belly. It is not about eating too much. It is a hormonal redirection of fat that cortisol drives. Chronically high cortisol also increases ghrelin, the hormone that controls hunger. So cortisol makes you hungrier and simultaneously makes your body store more of what you eat as fat, particularly around your abdomen. It also contributes to muscle loss, which slows your metabolism further. It is a domino effect happening inside you. Every single day. Now here is the part that will make you want to rethink everything: skipping meals and cutting calories too aggressively. That is a cortisol trigger on its own. Undereating signals scarcity to your body. Your body reads that as a threat and releases cortisol in response. Diets under 1,200 calories a day are associated with micronutrient deficiencies that make symptoms worse, not better. Very low-calorie approaches also cause muscle loss, which is the last thing you need right now. So the well-meaning woman who is skipping breakfast, having a light salad at lunch, and restricting at dinner is unknowingly flooding her body with cortisol all day long. She is making her hot flashes worse, her belly fat worse, her cravings worse, and her sleep worse, and she thinks she just needs to try harder. The third mistake is one that goes back decades and has done a lot of damage to women's health. We were taught to fear fat, low-fat yogurt, low-fat dressing, low-fat everything. What we were never told is that your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, are actually built from cholesterol. Healthy fats are the raw material your body uses to produce and regulate hormones. Remove the fat and you remove part of the foundation your hormone system needs to function. In early 2026, the U.S. government released updated national dietary guidelines. This is arguably the most significant shift in nutrition policy in several years. The new guidelines now explicitly recognize that protein and healthy fats are essential and acknowledge that past low-fat recommendations steered many people in the wrong nutritional direction. Zoe, this matters for you right now because a low-fat diet in perimenopause is not neutral. It is actively working against your hormones at the exact moment your body needs that support most. So what does eating for perimenopause actually look like? It is simpler than you think, but it requires a real shift in how you build your plate. Protein comes first, and you need 30 to 40 grams at each meal. Think eggs, salmon, Greek yogurt, chicken thighs, lentils, tofu. You are not snacking your way to protein. You are building meals around it. Every carbohydrate you eat should be paired with protein or fat. Never eat carbs alone. That pairing blunts the blood sugar spike and prevents the cortisol response that follows the crash. Healthy fats go back on your plate with no apology. Avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds, fatty fish. These are not the enemy. They are the building blocks your hormones are waiting for. Fiber becomes your daily non-negotiable. Research consistently shows that high-fiber diets are associated with better metabolic health, reduced inflammation, and more stable blood sugar, all of which reduce perimenopause symptoms. Aim for at least 25 grams a day and go higher if you can. Eat enough. 3 full, balanced meals is the minimum. Skipping meals is not discipline in perimenopause. It is a stress trigger your body cannot afford, and watch the hidden triggers. Alcohol raises cortisol, worsens hot flashes, and disrupts sleep. Excess sodium causes the bloating and water retention that makes you feel heavier than you are. Caffeine late in the day interferes with the deep sleep your body needs to regulate every hormone involved in this transition. Here is the truth that I want you to hold on to after this video. Your body has not betrayed you. It is responding exactly as it is designed to respond to a major hormonal shift. The problem is that you were given a set of rules built for a different body in a different season of life, and nobody updated the rulebook. Perimenopause is not the end of feeling good in your body. It is an invitation to eat smarter, not less, to fuel your muscles instead of starving them, to work with your hormones instead of accidentally fighting them every single day. If this changed how you think about food and your body, I need you to do one thing. Share this with one woman in her 40s who is eating clean and still struggling, because she needs to hear this. Tell me in the comments which of these was the biggest surprise for you. Was it the protein? The cortisol connection? The fat piece? I read every comment and I want to know where this lands for you, and subscribe if you are not already here, because next week we are going even deeper into what your body actually needs right now. I will see you then.